You've been taught to wait for a feeling, some lightning flash of motivation before you move. That's the lie. If you wait for spark, you rust. Comfort looks like a soft chair. It's really a slow leak in your future. Here's the truth. Your life changes the moment you stop negotiating with your moods and start issuing orders to yourself. Today, you either train your mind to treat effort as a reward, or you let comfort tax your destiny until it's bankrupt. You don't need permission to begin. You need a policy act first. Feel later. Tie pride to progress, not to ease. Make the morning your territory before the world makes it its playground. If you will change, everything will change for you. So tonight we burn the bridge to excuses, and tomorrow we cross the bridge to conquest, one deliberate step at a time. Now let me show you how. The first battle you must win is the one against your own mind. Left unchecked, your mind will always search for safety, and safety is another word for stagnation. You've been told that life is about finding balance, about not pushing too hard, about waiting until you feel ready. But let me tell you something, bold balance is often the disguise of mediocrity. The soil of greatness is tilled with struggle, watered with sweat, and fertilized with sacrifice. Nothing worthwhile ever grows in the shade of comfort. Think about the farmer. He doesn't wait until the soil feels easy to break. He drives the plow into the earth because the harvest depends on it. You must do the same with your own potential. Break the soil even when it resists, especially when it resists. That resistance is proof you are in the right place. Here's the truth. Motivation is like a guest who shows up late and leaves early. Discipline is the one who pays the bills and stays until the work is finished. You cannot afford to build your future on the inconsistency of a guest. You must anchor it to the reliability of discipline. When you tie your worth to how you feel, you will quit when the storm comes. But when you tie your worth to who you decide to be, the storm only makes you stronger. I stopped asking myself, do I want to, and started declaring I will. That single shift in language removed the back door of escape. Because when you give your mind an exit, it will always find it. But when you remove the option of retreat, your only path is forward. Let me tell you why comfort is so dangerous. Comfort teaches you to smile while your potential dies. It tells you, rest a little longer, you've earned it. It tells you, you'll get serious tomorrow. But tomorrow is a thief dressed in gentle clothing. Every day you wait, you trade a piece of your future for a moment of ease. And here's the irony. Comfort feels safe, but it steals your security. Because security is not found in resting, it is found in building. The man who saves $10 a day, who invests little by little, builds security. The one who spends every dollar chasing ease ends up broke no matter how much he earns. Comfort is the same way. It spends your time without return while effort multiplies it. I began to rewire my brain by linking pride to progress. Each time I pushed through fatigue, I celebrated. Each time I finished a task I wanted to avoid, I counted it as victory. I taught myself that effort is not punishment, it is proof. Proof that I am stronger than yesterday. Proof that I am still in the fight. Proof that I am not owned by my excuses. And over time, those proofs began to stack. My identity changed. I no longer saw myself as someone who struggles to begin. I saw myself as someone who finishes, someone who conquers. And that identity is worth more than any fleeting burst of motivation. Some people say I'll change when I feel inspired, but that is backward. Inspiration comes to those already in motion. It arrives while you work, not before. The bricklayer doesn't wait for inspiration to lay the first stone. He lays the stone, and somewhere in the middle of the work, pride appears. Progress produces passion, not the other way around. If you will learn to move first, the feelings will follow. Action creates energy. Movement manufactures momentum. Do not wait for the spark, become the fire. And here's another truth. Excuses are poison disguised as reason. They whisper. You need more rest. You aren't ready. You can try again later. But excuses do not crash into your life like a storm. They erode you like water dripping on stone, slowly, silently, until there is nothing left but regret. I started treating excuses as enemies. I hunted them down. When my mind said, you can't, I replied, I must. Because when something becomes a must, the brain stops searching for a way out and starts searching for a way through. You must decide, will you continue letting your mind vote for weakness, or will you train it to serve strength? The choice is yours, and it must be made daily. So I built a new law for myself. If it feels uncomfortable, it is valuable. If it scares me, it is necessary. If it demands effort, it is shaping me. This law turned pain into proof, turned pressure into fuel, turned fear into a compass. Every time my mind wanted to retreat, I reminded myself comfort is the enemy, and I refused to make peace with my enemy. And slowly the hard path stopped feeling like punishment. It started feeling like home. Discipline became my default. Pressure became normal. And that is when my life began to change. If you've ever wondered why the same people talk endlessly about success, yet never live it, the answer is simple. They leave the back door open. They say they want to change, but deep inside, they're still negotiating with their old self. They speak of discipline, but they keep comfort nearby like a secret lover. And as long as the mind knows there's a way back, it will retreat. You can't swim while clinging to the anchor of your excuses. You must cut the rope, burn the bridge, remove every exit until effort is the only option. That's when the brain adapts because survival demands it. The moment you decide quitting is not an option, effort stops being heavy, it becomes automatic. I learned that the human brain will always choose safety over struggle unless you flip the equation. Unless you make the cost of comfort greater than the cost of effort. Think about it. Why do most people stay average? Because the pain of staying the same has never outweighed the pain of change. But when you attach pain to idleness, when you imagine the years wasted, the opportunities lost, the regret who waiting at the end of the road, that pain burns hotter than any workout, any study session, any late night of disciplined labor. I looked at comfort and said, you are my enemy. You are stealing the life I could have lived. That image stung worse than sweat ever could. And suddenly the grind felt like salvation. I also tied pleasure to discipline. The pride of finishing what I started, the joy of proving myself capable, the quiet satisfaction of progress, these became my rewards. Most people give their brain cheap dopamine from distractions. A scroll here, a snack there, a nap too long. But those little hits are counterfeit coins. They buy nothing. I chose to steal that dopamine back and give it to progress. Each time I conquered a task, I praised myself. Each time I showed up, I celebrated. My brain learned effort equals pride, discipline equals joy, struggle equals strength. And the more I practiced, the more natural it became. My mind no longer craved ease, it craved achievement. Here's the shift you must make. Stop asking, do I feel like it? Start declaring, do it. Your words shape your reality. Most people sabotage themselves, not through laziness, but through language. They whisper, I'll try, I should, maybe tomorrow. Those are exit signs your brain follows. But when you speak in commands, I will rise early, I will finish this, I will not quit, your brain adapts. It stops negotiating and starts obeying. Like a soldier following orders, it moves before it thinks. This is how you turn hesitation into habit. This is how you rewire discipline into default. Now understand, this pressure is not your enemy. It is your ally. Most people avoid pressure because they think it will break them. But pressure is the forge that shapes steel. Without heat, metal stays soft. Without urgency, potential stays dormant. I began to surround myself with pressure books that challenged me, mentors who demanded more competition, that forced me to rise commitments that left no room for excuses. I announced my goals, so I couldn't retreat quietly. I created deadlines that left no margin for drifting. And at first it was terrifying, but then something powerful happened. My brain adapted. Pressure stopped feeling like a threat. It became normal, and in that normal, greatness grew. Let me tell you why. When you live in comfort, your energy scatters. Half of it goes into debating with yourself, arguing with your excuses, negotiating whether you should move or not. But when you live in pressure, all that energy unites. It stops wandering in circles and points forward. Pressure silences the chatter. It kills hesitation. It forces clarity. And when clarity meets commitment, momentum explodes. That's when you stop wasting energy and start building something unstoppable. So stop running from pressure. Stop wishing for easy days. The easy day robs you of the very thing you need to grow. Instead, engineer pressure into your life. Place yourself in environments that demand your best. Make promises you cannot back out of. Surround yourself with people who won't tolerate your excuses. Yes, fear will rise at first, but fear is the sign that you're in the right place. And when you push through, fear shrinks, pressure molds. You and your brain learns to love the fight. That is how you transform. Most people think success comes from giant leaps, from one big breakthrough that changes everything. But the truth is far less glamorous and far more powerful. Success is built from microscopic victories stacked daily until momentum becomes your nature. Momentum is the secret. Momentum is what makes discipline automatic. Momentum is what turns struggle into stride. The mistake people make is waiting for a tidal wave of motivation instead of creating a steady stream of small wins. But small wins are bricks, and bricks become castles. One page written, one workout finished, one promise kept. These are the sparks that ignite the fire of identity. When I first began, I was guilty of chasing explosions. I thought I had to conquer the mountain all at once. And every time I tried, I collapsed under the weight of my own ambition. But then I learned mountains are conquered by steps, not leaps. So I made it my rule: lay today's brick, nothing more, nothing less. Write one page, train for 15 minutes, finish one phone call I've been avoiding. Each one seems small, but each one was a victory. And the brain thrives on victory. Even the smallest win tells your mind, I am capable, I am moving, I am becoming. And when you repeat that daily, you carve a deep identity of discipline. Discipline stops being what you do, it becomes who you are. Here's the principle: you protect what you respect. Every time you win, even in a small way, you build self-respect. And self-respect is the root of all discipline. The man who respects himself will not sabotage himself. He will not cheat himself. He will not retreat from himself. When you treat every small commitment as sacred, you train your brain to trust you. And that trust is the foundation of unstoppable confidence. You no longer need outside validation because you are fueled by your own integrity. So I built momentum by honoring the smallest commitments. If I said I would read 2 pages, I read them. If I promised to run for 10 minutes, I ran. And I celebrated not because the task was grand, but because the completion was proof. Proof kills doubt. Doubt cannot survive in a mind that collects evidence of discipline. That is why most people fail. They set mountains they never climb, then drown in their own disappointment. I built hills I could conquer daily, and over time, those hills turned into mountains under my feet. And here's the shift: you must make progress as oxygen. You must breathe it every day. Do not starve your brain waiting for big breakthroughs. Feed it micro victories. Celebrate them. Protect them. Stack them until your momentum is so strong it feels strange not to move. That is when discipline becomes automatic. That is when effort stops draining you and starts energizing you. Because progress, no matter how small, is fuel. And when you fuel your mind daily, you no longer chase motivation. You manufacture momentum. Think about the first hour of your day. That hour is the throne of your mind. Whoever owns it owns you. Most people give it away. They wake up, hand it to their phone, to their inbox, to chaos, and then they wonder why they feel behind before the day even begins. I learned to guard that hour like treasure. No distractions, no noise, no surrender. That hour belongs to me. It belongs to clarity, to vision, to movement. And that single decision changed everything, because how you start determines how you continue. Win the first hour and the rest of the day bends to your will. Lose it and you spend all day trying to recover. I didn't need to win the entire day at once. I just needed one disciplined hour, one win to ignite momentum, one victory to prove to my mind, today will be mine. And when you stack enough mornings like that, you begin to live in a rhythm of achievement. While others are drifting, you are building. While others are reacting, you are attacking. While others are chasing comfort, you are conditioning greatness. That edge compounds. It multiplies. And one day you wake up unrecognizable, not because the mountain disappeared, but because momentum carried you over it. There is a point where most people stop. It is not when the body fails, but when the mind whispers, "This is too much." That voice is the birthplace of quitting. And quitting, my friend, is the one habit you must kill before it kills you. Every dream dies the moment you give quitting permission to speak. The road to greatness is littered with delays, disappointments, and detours, but none of those can defeat you unless you decide to stop swinging. The wall you face is not the end, it is the gate. And the key to that gate is endurance. Just one more rep, one more phone call, one more hour of focused effort. Victory belongs to the one who outlasts the storm. Understand, this excuses will try to sound reasonable. They will whisper, "You can try again tomorrow. You deserve a break. No one will know if you stop now." But every time you accept that voice, you trade away a piece of your future. Quitting doesn't strike you with a loud crash. It erodes you quietly until nothing remains but regret. I learned to see quitting as poison. I built an unshakable rule in my mind: I do not quit. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Struggle is proof I am alive. Resistance is proof I am growing. Pain is proof I am still in the fight. So I made a vow I will finish what I start. And that vow became armor thicker than doubt, stronger than fear. Here's the truth. Discipline is not about talent or luck. It is about creating an identity of endurance. When the body says stop, identity says go. When fear screams quit, identity whispers try again. And when you stack enough moments of endurance, you stop negotiating with your mind. You stop wasting energy on exit strategies. All of your PowerPoints in one direction forward. And forward is where transformation lives. Now let me speak plainly. Comfort will beg you to sit back, to play safe, to live small. It will tell you that ease is the reward for life. But ease is not the reward, it is the trap. Comfort is the silent thief of ambition. It robs your edge, softens your spirit, and leaves you wondering years from now why you never became who you were meant to be. That is why you must fear comfort more than pain. Pain will shape you. Comfort will erase you. Attach disgust to comfort until it feels dangerous. Imagine the regret of wasted years, the agony of unlived potential, the hollowness of dying average. Let that image sting worse than sweat. And when it does, you will rise from the chair, you will silence the excuses, and you will act. And once you act, celebrate. Celebrate not because the task is complete, but because the struggle itself is sacred. Effort is not punishment. It is proof you are becoming unstoppable. Train your brain to love the grind, to find joy and discipline, to see every hard thing as a privilege. Because once effort becomes your pleasure, nothing can stop you. The moment you fall in love with the climb, the summit becomes inevitable. This is the secret. You don't wait for motivation. You manufacture momentum. You don't beg for easy days. You demand growth. You don't hope for change. You command it. So let me leave you with this truth. Greatness is not given. It is carved from discomfort, discipline, and relentless endurance. It is born when you burn the bridge to excuses, when you surround yourself with pressure, when you speak commands instead of wishes, and when you refuse to quit no matter how heavy the burden feels. Your brain is waiting for one thing, your final order. So give it. Declare with absolute certainty, I will rise, I will endure, I will conquer. Then move like someone who has already won, because the world will never hand you greatness. You must seize it. And if you refuse to quit, if you tie pride to discipline and disgust to comfort, nothing, no fear, no failure, no force will be able to stand in your way.